2. He'll be joining the Honda Team Asia squad. And well, he's looked strong this season, I think it's fair to say. Not in the championship running really heading into this round, but nonetheless still a solid season. He's known for being a real consistent rider and a rider you can really rely on as a team.
Absolutely, and it was his best starting grid position in Junior GP, so a very good week for Matani, obviously with the Moto3 announcement, and now this, very much in podium contention.
Yeah, very much in podium contention. You can see the 5-minute board now raised, and that just informs teams not got too much longer to make adjustments. Then, of course, they'll get warned at 3 minutes, and then we can start looking towards the warm-up lap. Now, sitting on the grid as well, the number 9, Veda Pratama. He's looked good this year, starting from that second row of the grid on the Astra Honda Racing Team machine. Well, Veda Pratama, he'll be joining Matani at Honda Team Asia next year. And, well, you've got to say, with that signing already in the bag heading into these final 2 rounds, you've not really got much to worry about in terms of finding the right for next year. So now it's all-out attack, and you can just push, have some fun out there.
Pressure's off, the future's secured for both Matani and Pratama now. So, I say, go out, have fun. Be aggressive, take the fight to the front runners. Obviously, they won't want to mess up any championship battle. They'll want to try and stay clear of that. But if the win's available, go for it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what folds in this one. Rico Salmela, though, you can see get well soon to Yambias. Of course, racing for the Australia Lithia team in Moto2 in the Moto2 European Championship. But for Salmela, it was a difficult Misano round, to put it lightly. He crashed out in race 1, as we've seen in our flashback to the last weekend, but then following race 2, he was then later disqualified, and that was due to a technical infringement. So sadly for Salmela, 0 points scored in the last round, and now a lot of work to do because he's right on the back foot compared to what he was heading into Misano.
It was a difficult weekend at Misano, and that's the reason he's now 62 points back. He is second in the championship, so he can keep the fight going if he can get ahead of Uriarte. Some good news for the Finnish rider was he was confirmed to be going to Moto3 next year as well.
And so is his teammate, Casey O'Gorman. He'll be joining racing on the Honda as well next year in the 58 squad. So he'll be looking forward to that one as well. He impressed earlier on in the season, the Moto2 World Championship. It's a 3-minute board is raised. And once again, showing the Junior GP class really it can be as fast and as competitive as the Moto3 World Championship. The front runners in this class really are something else. As Evan Belford now looking strong, looking confident, I think it's fair to say. And well, luckily for him, a P8 start and a solid place to start this race.
Very solid. Best of the season for Belford, and he'll be hoping he can convert that into a top 10. He was in the top 10 at Misano. He was 7th in race 1. If he can continue that, it will be a very strong end to the season for the number 52.
And not to mention, as Moto3 wildcards he had earlier on in the year, of course. But for Junior GP, after we left the circuit yesterday, we had quite a few notifications coming through, and that was with the amount of penalties that have been given out. And for the likes of Sullivan Menzi, Adrian Cruces, Leonardo Abruzzo, Lucas Brown, Lance Romara and Uchime, they'll all be starting from the back of the grid, while Singapong has been handed the back of the grid penalty in 2 long laps. And not to mention the fact that Enzo Ballon, Monoyani have a back of grid of 1 long lap, and Christian Daniel Jr. just a long lap to serve. So plenty of penalties to get through in this one, and plenty of riders that are going to be starting out of position and going to have to fight their way through the field of riders that maybe they're not used to racing.
Yeah, when you obviously get a back of the grid penalty, you're going to be starting obviously well down from where you would expect. So for, as you mentioned, the whole host of riders who have been given that and the long lap as well, it will be very difficult for them to fight their way back through the field. But those without the long lap, perhaps if they can latch onto the group in front and make quick progress, there's a possibility of scoring some points.
Now we just had a look at Leonardo Zani, and he'll be looking to match Brian Uriarte, who looks to take the race win this time around. Will he be champion after this one? Let's find out. So here we are on the grid. We are ready and raring to go. It is going to be Brian Uriarte, your championship leader, on pole position. Jesus Rios and Marco Morelli alongside. Zen Matani, Veda Pratama and Rico Salmela take up row 2, while Casey O'Gorman, Evan Belford and Joel Esteban start from the 3rd row of our grid. Zani rounds out our top 10 with Dodo Boggio starting for P11 alongside Gonzalez as Hekam Danish and Ramstoffer go from P13 and 14 alongside Pugliese. Michelion goes from P16 with Nicholas Farkas joining him for company. Meanwhile, Bertola, Christian Dino Jr. and Yedze goes from row 7. Stromrock, Trot and Adrian Cruces goes from row 8, while Abruzzo, Evan Belford, Singapong, Solomon Mountsie Uchimi, Monuyane and Mara and Lucas Brown that round out our grid. Plenty of penalties to get through. The back couple of rows all have penalties to serve in this one as we head out for our warm-up laps now. Of course, there's one warm-up lap here today, and that's thanks to the glistening sunshine that we've been treated to. Thursday, when we arrived, there was some private testing that took place, and of course, there was some mixed conditions in the morning for them. The second session there as well, a little bit tricky. Not too many laps were completed on the Thursday by the majority of the riders. Friday, a little bit better in terms of temperature. But again, this Barcelona circuit, it's known for being a low grip track, and in the morning it takes a while to get temperature into that track surface.
It does. It's a very low grip track. You have any racing series here, 2-wheel or 4-wheel, and it's all about, for the most part, tyre management. Those who can look after their tyres for the full race distance will likely come to the fore at the crucial time at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's a game of chess almost. You need to get yourself in that perfect position for the latter half of the race without destroying your tyres. So certainly the first couple of laps, we might see a dash at the front, and then it will settle out a little bit, and then we'll expect to see one final push towards the latter half. But of course, we have 14 laps of action coming up. A nice race.
Oh, battle
distance as well.
belakang
You
ya.
can just see
Battle 12 ya.
not too windy as well today. So
Ini battle juga di belakang nih.
for a race, albeit slightly cold. Turn 5, one of the trickiest
Battle
corners we
17.
have on the
Siapa yang bisa
calendar,
posisi 17
especially
tuh?
in November. No matter what championship it is, as you'll have a look now at the championship standings, 62, 63 and 63 are the top 4. But no matter what championship comes here, especially at this time of year, Turn 5 is known for catching out quite a few riders.
Turn 5, yeah, it's one of the, well, after Turn 2, it's the first left-hander for a long time.
Bisa 3
And the
lap
two
lagi, kita
corners
masih
before it
perhatikan ya.
are very long right-handers, so you don't use that side of the tyre for a while. It's heavy braking, it's downhill, it's a very tricky corner at the best of times, let alone when it's a bit chilly, a bit colder than you would like.
Yeah, let alone when you're racing in November. It's one of the challenges of Junior GP. Perfect experience for the future. Brian Uriarte pulls into pole position, pulls into his slot. And well, he's looking calm, he's looking confident. It's exactly what we've seen all season long. And that's how he's managed to put himself 62 points clear of his rivals.
Jadi kita lihat nih rombongan kayaknya. Rombongan 1, 2, dan 3 ada masing-masing rombongan yang saling sistem kejar-kejaran nih. Antara satu sama yang lainnya. Oke, masih 3 lap lagi, kita lihat 2 lap lagi nih teman-teman. Udah masuk. Udah masuk. Nah, kita lihat nih. Veda, oke lah, masih bisa ngejar lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, kembali posisi 6 Veda. Tinggal gimana dia ngikutin rombongan depan aja lagi nih.
Also alongside Brian Uriarte, who's going to go and drop about to 4th position, maybe even lower than that. Joe Esteban, meanwhile, has hit the front. Now attacked by Marco Morelli. Has a look, thinks better of it. Esteban wide. That's going to affect his line through the long turn 3. It's just being nice and patient on the tyre. Brian Uriarte, he's down to P6. Perhaps not the start he would have been hoping for. Now Morelli looking for another attack down the inside at turn 4. And well, he's not unable to make that move work this time around. He slots back in 2nd position as we head to turn 5, and now he is ahead of Joel Esteban.
He is, yeah. It was a great start from Morelli and Esteban. We see O'Gorman on the inside of turn 5 on Esteban, looking to get into an early P2. Perhaps part of this strategy that we were talking about. There are different strategies at play in Barcelona. You can go really fast at the start
gas-gas,
and perhaps have
habis-habis
to
semua
manage
nih.
at the end, or you can manage throughout the race and be quick at the end.
And of course, Brian Uriarte, he's got a 62-point lead. He's telling the riders behind just to follow him through. That looked to be Jesus Rios he was telling them to follow. But nonetheless, Brian Uriarte is a 62-point lead in the championship.
Lumayan itu gapnya selisihnya tuh.
Get involved in a silly incident on this opening laps, perhaps taking things a little bit easier than what we would normally see. He's got Rico Salmela just ahead of him. Second position in the championship heading into this one, but Marco Morelli at the front of things. A 14-lap dash, and will Casey O'Gorman slot into second. Joel Esteban in third, and will Veda Pratama leading this next group of riders. Marco Morelli has a slight bit of daylight for him.
He does, but this is a long run into turn one. So although it's about 4
Final lap,
tenths, 3.5
balas
tenths
batas terakhir.
that could be swallowed up
1,
on
2,
this
3,
run
4, 5 di
down
depan nih
into
kayaknya
turn one.
akan bersaing.
It is a very compact group at the moment, although on that shot already very clear.
Mencari juara 1, 2, dan 3-nya kita lihat. Veda kayaknya berat sekali masuk ke rombongan, cukup lumayan jauh dia. Ya kita bisa terima Veda di posisi ke-6 ya teman-teman. Nanti kita lihat 2 jam kemudian baru Veda bisa nge-trace lagi.
And now second position for the number 51. A nice position. Now we can begin to chip away at Marco Morelli's lead. I'm sure he's got a strategy for this race. And now Casey O'Gorman looking up the inside as well. It's something that we're going to be seeing throughout the day, is every single rider's key rivals are not going to be afraid to release the brakes. Set one up the inside.
They're not. They're going to fight hard. They want to keep this championship going to Valencia if they can, to have a small chance of
Di depannya
beating
cukup menarik ya teman-teman.
on the inside. Again, turn 5. It's side by side.
Kejar-kejarannya.
Just holds it around the outside. Great ride
Final
from number
lapnya.
51.
Yeah, some great riding there, defensive skills, not afraid to lean it on the top, the number 54. And well, a few riders dropping back. Adrian Cruzes already up into P13. He's dropped down to the JuniorGP class from the Moto2 European Championship. And that's just to get some running for his move to the Moto3 World Championship next season. Of course, he got a penalty in qualifying, and now he's beginning to work his way through the order, so don't be unexpected to see him up the order. Evan Belfer as well, further back in the shot. Rico Salmela launching the move down the inside of Joel Esteban. And well, this front group is a chaotic start, but you have to say everyone
Final
within those top 5, within those
final
top 3
corner.
places.
Trying to get into the perfect position to
Uriarte
not be swallowed
kedua.
up on the long straight. That's crucial, but also to be able to defend from behind and attack at the same time. It's on this long run. I'll keep saying it. It's vital to be in the right position. You don't necessarily want to be in front unless you have a big gap. Morelli, 4.5 temps, 5 temps clear, so he'll be okay heading into turn 1. But behind, it will be a big gaggle of riders.
Into turn 1, we head again. Joel Esteban right on the inside there. You would suggest he's going to take second position. Can he make the move work though on Jesus Rios? Yes, he can, and he makes that move work. But Jesus Rios attempted to go around the outside towards turn 2, and he's made that one work.
Masih belum bisa. Veda masih di urutan ke-6 ya teman-teman.
Certainly, if you're not
Thank you
first
kalian udah
position
nonton.
championship, we know how close second to fifth is in the championship standings. You're not going to want to see Marco Morelli storm into the distance. There's going to be a sense of urgency, and Brian Uriarte now he's outside the top 5.
Yeah, it will be a sense of urgency if you're fighting for P2. Uriarte at the moment content with P6. You would suspect he's not going to take too many risks at all, especially when it's colder. He doesn't want to lose the big advantage he has in the championship fight.
Yeah, certainly. At the moment, it's just the case of getting solid points on the board and seeing how things look after race 2, you would suggest, unless it's a chance for him to save some tyres, sit behind a couple of riders, and then go on full-on attack mode. Because Marco Morelli's pushed hard in his opening laps. He set a great Sector 2, in fact, the best Sector 2 of the entire race, but he's got Jesus Rios behind him, pushing hard with Joel Esteban, Rico Salmela just ahead of Casey O'Gorman as well, his teammate. Now, Veda Pratama is a little bit of daylight forming there between 6th and 7th. So Pratama and Danish are going to have to get the hammer down pretty soon if they want hopes of sticking on to this front group.